Today we're continuing with the area between two curves, and we're looking at a slightly more complex example than we did yesterday. Now, this area is between the line here, g of x, and the curve here, f of x. Now, as we learned last time, when we're integrating, we need to integrate the top curve, take away the bottom curve. At this phase here, f of x is on top and g of x is in the bottom. But in this area here, g of x is in the top and f of x is in the bottom. So I'm going to have to integrate them separately, and it's going to be a slightly different integral each time. So first we're going to integrate area 1. So the limits here, the upper limit is 2, the lower limit is -1, and at this point it's the curve that's on top. So I have x cubed minus 7x squared plus 8x plus 16, and I'm subtracting 4x plus 4, which is the straight line. Now I want to simplify this a little before I integrate. So the x cubed is going to remain, the minus 7x squared is going to remain. And now I've got a positive 8x and I'm taking away 4x. So I've got plus 4x. Then I've got a positive 16 and I'm taking away 4. So I've got plus 12. And that's what I'm going to integrate. Okay, so first the integration. This is straightforward. X to the 4 over 4 minus 7x cubed over 3 plus 4x squared over 2 plus 12x between 2 and -1. Now before I go to substitute in, I'm going to want to simplify that. So instead of being 4x squared over 2, I'm going to substitute into 2x squared. So I'm going to have 2 to the power of 4 over 4 minus 7 times 2 cubed over 3 plus 2 times 2 squared plus 12 times 2. All of that in one bracket. And I'm subtracting -1 to the power of 4 over 4 minus 7 times -1 cubed over 3 plus 2 times -1 squared plus 12 times -2. 12 times -1. So 2 to the power of 4 is 16, divided by 4 is 4. 2 cubed is 8, 7 times 8 is 56. 56 thirds. 2 times 2 squared, 2 squared is 4, so that's 8. And 12 times 2 is 24. And I'm taking away -1 to the power of 4 is +1, so that's 1/4. -1 cubed is -1, so that would give me -7 thirds, but I'm taking away, so it's going to be add 7 thirds. -1 squared is +1, so that's +2, and 12 times -1 is -12. So now we're going to try and tidy up each bracket a little bit. So in this first bracket, I'm going to gather together all the whole numbers. So that negative belongs to that fraction, so don't confuse that. So I've got 4 plus 8, which is 12, plus 24 is 36, and I'm taking away 56 thirds, minus And here I've got 2 take away 12, so I've got minus 10 plus a quarter plus 7/3. So I'm going to break that bracket just now. So I've got 36, take away 56/3. I'm taking away negative 10, so I'm adding 10. I'm taking away a quarter, and I'm taking away 7/3. Whole numbers first. 36 plus 10, 46. Now the thirds. Minus 56/3 minus another 7/3. It's going to be minus 63/3. And I'm taking away a quarter. Now the 63/3 can cancel. They're both divisible by 3. So that's actually 21. Which means that I now have 46, take away 21, which is 25, take away a quarter, which is 24 3/4, or 99 quarters. And that is units squared. Now there's quite a lot in there, but that was just the first area. So I'm now going to have to go ahead and calculate the second area. So now we're looking at the second area, which is this area here, and the limits are going to be 6 and 2, and I've got the straight line on top this time. So I'm going to be doing the straight line and subtracting the curve which is underneath. So limits of 6 and 2. And the straight line is 4x minus 4. And I'm going to be taking away x cubed minus 7x squared plus 8x plus 16. I'm going to tidy this up before I try to integrate. So I'll do the x's first because I have an x first. So I've got 4x and I'm taking away 8x. So I've got minus 4x. Then I've got negative 4 taking away 16, which means I'm going to have actually that should be plus 4. So I've got positive 4 and I'm taking away 16, which gives me minus 12. And then I'm going to take everything else from the second bracket away. So I'm taking away x cubed. I'm taking away negative 7 squared, which means I'm adding 7x squared. And I've already dealt with the 8x and the 16. So this is what we're integrating. Okay, so same as before. Negative 4x becomes negative 4x squared over 2. Negative 12 becomes negative 12x. Negative x cubed becomes negative x to the 4 over 4 plus 7x cubed over 3. And between the values of 6 and 2. I'm going to check for simplification. And I see that I can simplify this to minus 2x squared. It's similar to what we integrated in the first part, but it's not the same. So now I'm substituting in the 6. So I've got 2 times 6 squared minus 12 times 6 minus 6 to the power of 4 over 4 plus 7 times 6 cubed over 3, and I'm subtracting 2 times 2 squared minus 12 times 2 minus 2 to the power of 4 over 4 plus 7 times 2 cubed over 3. Now, these numbers are quite big. This is going to be a calculator paper for this type of question. We'll talk more about making sure you put things into the calculator properly when we're in class. For just now, I'm going to go ahead and evaluate the numbers for you. So we end up with negative 324 plus 504, minus 72 minus 72, and we're taking away negative 4 plus 56 thirds minus 8 minus 24. And that gives us 160 over 3, or 53 and a third. Now that's the second area. So the total area, I'm going to add them together. And so the total area is this area we've just worked out, 160 over 3, plus the area we worked out already, which is 99 quarters. Altogether, that gives us 78 and 1/12, and it's units squared.